Now, there isn't one cure-all. There's not one way in which to solve this problem, because there isn't one problem. There's a number of different problems, all contributing to the failure of customer experience management. And at Jericho, we've identified 10 broad categories that cover all of these different areas of failure. Number 8, CX with no goal in mind. Now, there are a number of organizations that we've come across in the past, and they've asked to do customer experience management, but when we've asked them why, they were not always able to give us a really solid answer. One example that I can give you is that once we were completing a tender that had been sent to us, and within the tender it said, well, you can put anything that you want to within your proposal, but please don't do customer journey mapping. We went back to the organisation and said, well, why can't we do customer journey mapping? Because at Jericho, customer journey mapping is a core part of the way in which we do our research. And the company came back to us and said, well, we've done customer journey mapping 3 times before and nothing changed. Now, we were really shocked when we heard that, but when we dug a little bit deeper under the surface, it became clear what the problem was. The company presented us with 3 really beautiful customer journey maps that map the chronological journey of the customer from beginning to end. Now, they weren't exactly done the same way that we at Jericho would have done them. And they weren't done in the same depth that we would have done them. But they were really good. But the one thing that was really clear is that the focus had all been on the map itself. And what we would say is that when you do customer journey mapping, the main aim of it is not the map. The main aim is what comes out of the mapping process. And we're talking about moments of truth, pain points, commercial opportunities, and wow opportunities. Those are the things that you're looking for, because it's those things that are going to form the basis of any transformation activity or program the organization is going to carry out to improve upon the customer experience. So CX with no goal in mind is pretty much a waste of time. And if we come across organizations that are doing customer experience management and they don't know why they're doing it and they don't know the purpose, we tell them to stop it immediately. There are a lot of buzzwords out there: journey mapping, voice of the customer. If you're doing them and you don't know why you're doing them, stop doing them. Number 9, CX done as a cost-cutting exercise. Now, one of the benefits of some customer experience activities is the organisation can see a reduction in cost as a result of what they do, and self-service technology is a really good example. 24-hour banking, for example, wonderful. In the middle of the night, I can get up, I can do my banking. The bank doesn't have to be open. All I need to do is open an app. I can move money around. I can pay bills. It's fantastic. And the bank loves it because I'm doing their job for them. Yeah, so I pay them in order to do the job on their behalf, and I love it and they love it. It reduces their costs, and from my perspective, I get a brilliant experience. Now, that's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have come across a number of organizations who are saying we want to do customer experience as a cost-cutting exercise. And there's a real danger when the principal focus of customer experience is cutting cost. Because when you focus on cutting cost, you forget about developing a great experience. And when that happens, things can start to be compromised. You focus too much on reducing the cost than you do the experience. So by the time you've finished developing something which definitely reduced costs, it's nowhere near close to what the customer would like to use. They don't use it, and therefore the whole thing fails overall. So the principal focus of customer experience management has to be improving customer experience. Reducing costs is always a byproduct of customer experience management, never the key focus. Number 10, CX done tactically, not strategically. Now, we've spoken already about a couple of areas where CX can be done in silos or CX can be done in initiatives, but I think it's worthwhile covering this off as a standalone issue. Customer experience is not what the company does. Customer experience is what the customer gets. Customer experience is not the same as finance or marketing or sales. It's not a functional activity. Customer experience is what the customer gets, okay? And therefore, it sits cross-functionally. The customer that you deal with deals with marketing because they see an advert, they speak to the salespeople, they speak to the after sales people, they speak to the billing people. That experience chronologically sits across the functions, and therefore you cannot deal with it as a tactical issue. You have to deal with it as a strategic one that sits right across the organisation. If you deal with it in one area of the business, it's not going to work from the perspective of the customer. The organisation needs to remember that the customer's relationship is with the brand, and brand is all about reputation. So the brand makes the promise to the customer, and then it's down to the organisation to deliver against that promise. So, in summary, there are instances where customer experience transformation and management are being undertaken poorly, and in that case it's a waste of an organisation's time. But it doesn't have to be that way.